Hey everybody, welcome to my review for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, making its debut on 4K Ultra HD from Warner Brothers next week, November 11th. If you'd like to pre-order this one, you have the option to use the Amazon Associates link in the description, and that'll help me out, help the podcast out. If you like reviews like this, it doesn't do a whole lot, but it does a little enough to make me, like to keep going. It comes here with a nice little slip cover, and then inside it is only a 4K Ultra HD disc. There is a digital code for redemption. I have redeemed it, so don't ask. Anyway, what do we think of this cover art? I like just using posters, but I know they want to get the kids in here. But this is an interesting bit. Look, it's all cracked and shattered, just like the loony bin in this movie. No. So yeah, very interesting choice on cover art. There is a steelbook available for this as well in the original pressing. I'm very happy that this movie is coming to 4K Ultra HD. I love the classics, love the 70s. Coming here, one of Nicholson's greatest performance, which he multiple Academy Award winner, one of our finest around. This movie was highly regarded, highly touted. It's produced by Michael Douglas. Yes, the Michael Douglas back in like 1970, like 4 or 5. Like, that's nutty. He was a young guy then. He was, the son of Kirk. We'll get to a little bit more about him a little later. This movie is tremendous. I first saw it in college, and it was like, wow. What a movie. It's a lot of guys, a lot of guys movies. Nicholson being a guy trying to play the system only to discover how bad the system can be. And he becomes the greatest, mentor and teacher for this band of misfits in for various reasons that we would not lock people up for today. Brad Dourif is tremendous here. This is his breakout role. He plays a guy with a stutter. That's his problem. He's got he's got some mental issues with confidence because of a stutter. There are all different people. This is one of those movies that has that breakout cast. Like, a lot of people from this movie did like so much, like came out of this. Nicholson, of course, is the headliner. He was already a major star at the time, but Louise Fletcher comes out of this. Christopher Lloyd, as I mentioned, Brad Dourif, Danny DeVito's here, Vincent Schiavelli, character actor galore. Vincent Schiavelli, awesome. Michael Berryman from Hills Have Eyes shows up in here. Like, this is just a launching pad, and all of them are so good at playing these mental patients. They feel genuine. It's not unsettling. But there's something both unsettling and endearing in how good their performances are. They talk about how Nicholson was like, who are these guys? Like, they feel so real. This one has a series of, it's got its overall drama, but there's a series of sketches in which Nicholson plays with them and the system and tries to help them out and talks to them. It feels like a cobbled together series of events, as he's also being monitored to see if he's, gaming the system, because they don't really buy into it. And then there's the abuse by Louise Fletcher, Nurse Ratched, who's one of the most like iconic cinematic like meanies of all time here, as she is a sort of mistreats her patients, and he sees that, and he's mentally there to pull that out. And he's, Nicholson, like, this movie, the thing is too, while he's being the way he is, and you kind of enjoy him taking the side and seeing the light on these patients and the system, he's not a good person either, and they don't portray him as one. They bring up his statutory rape a bunch, and he has a history of violence behind him, but he's also like the best thing for these guys at the time, trying to have parties and stuff. This movie pairs up, it's ultimate double feature with Cool Hand Luke, another one where somebody who doesn't kind of belong in this system of broken people enters and changes their lives, makes them better people, shows them confidence, shows them a way. Christ-like figure that comes in, and this, that was in an old prison system, and this one is in a mental hospital capacity. But it's a terrific movie. I don't have anything to say about it that anybody else has. One of the funniest things I did with this movie is got my son, and I was like, "Hey, that's Danny DeVito was on screen. You know, who's that?" He's like, "I don't know who that is." I'm like, "It's Danny DeVito." He's like, "No, shut up. That is not Danny DeVito." It is Danny DeVito. So that was kind of a funny thing. Movie, 5 out of 5. This is a Cinematic Class Best Picture winner. If you want to see the best of the 70s, this is coming up. You want to see one of Nicholson's best, this is coming up. Milos Forman, this is also coming up. Like, this is an amazing, powerful film, still to this day. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. We'll go to the video. This one is presented encoded with HEVC H.265, presented in its original theatrical aspect ratio of 185:1 and a 2160p 4K picture. This is a gorgeous looking restoration done. The look of this I compare to the Columbia Classics collections from Sony, how those look masterful and pristine, and they got the grain perfectly, everything like that. I compare it to that. This is really fine looking. Looks very cinematic. It has a lot of depth to it. Thanks for being shot on film and such. Black levels are perfect. It has a real distinct look going for it. Facial features are all, the skin tones are consistent. Freckles, scarring, everything like that. Sweat, dirt, everything looks right like you're looking through a window at somebody almost at times. It feels like, but you're watching it with grain, a window with grain and stuff like that. You get one of the colors I really like that they get right is whites in this. Like, white, it sounds silly, but like the whites, you see different shades, tones, stains, like full clothing texture. It looks terrific, as well as the tiling in the hospital look awesome. Everything was good. It's got a very cold looking color timing to it, but probably intentional. And yeah, overall 5 out of 5. Absolute dynamite restoration on this one. Then we go to the audio. Audio-wise, you're getting an English remastered 5.1 DTS HDMA. You get the original theatrical English 2.0 DTS HD Master Audio. You get French, Italian, Castilian, Spanish, and Latin American Spanish audios. And then when it comes to the subtitles, you get English SDH, French, Italian SDH, Spanish, Castilian, Dutch, Chinese Simplified, Latin American Spanish, Czech, and Polish subtitles. So the audio here, the 5.1, a little bit lowered volume, and doing the best it could. Very airy, space, a little bit more spatial to it. It feels kind of overdone for the movie. It's not as loud as impactful. Some of the stuff I think where like there's some like crashiness peaking in the audio, I think is in the source for the movie, because I switch back and forth between the original theatrical and this, and the original theatrical is louder, more present, coming out of the two channels, but it has a bit of a rougher patch to it. It sounds a little bit more buzzy, and some of the people's voices go a little bit peaking. So I think it's just naturally in the source, but it sounds all good. I think the original theatrical mix is probably perfect for this. It's a little rougher around the edges, but it kind of gives the feel of watching the film of its time, in its time, if that makes sense to you. I know I garbly look and stuff, but I am who I am. I apologize. Well, I'm not making an apologize for who I am. That's who I am. So if that makes sense to you, great. But I think it's overall good. I think it's a little bit warmer in the 5.1. Either way, I think you're going to get a good experience. I'm giving the audio of this a 4 out of 5. Next, we will move on to the extras, where we have a little bit of... we got some new stuff and we're missing some old stuff. Let's start with the bad here. We are missing from previous releases the commentary track. Not here. Don't know where it went. Still looking for it. Trailer is not present. The trailers get removed from these a lot, and I used to think, oh, it's only got a trailer, but as I've grown in my film studies, I've appreciated having trailers with these and TV spots. They kind of take me back. I like to see how they were marketed and pushed a lot more. So I do It does bug me when those don't get carried over. There's an older making of that was on the original release for this on DVD and Blu-ray, and it's not there. So those things are not present on this one. We do have 2 new bonus features. We have Conversations on Cuckoo Group Therapy, which is 13 minutes and 7 seconds. This is a Zoom conversation between Michael Douglas, Danny DeVito, Christopher Lloyd, and Brad Dourif. This is a really fun conversation. I like how it goes. This talks about the characters and actors in each part of the movie and what they were like to work with, what they came in with. During this, they have anecdotes and stuff, and they talk about themselves. And we learned how Danny DeVito was part of the play, and they brought him over to be part of the movie as well. Then we have Conversations on Cuckoo, a movie making memories, which is 10 minutes and 34 seconds. This is that same Zoom conversation between those guys, and they just share kind of how the movie was made and working on the set that day. And these are really fun. I like these guys together. Dourif he pipes in here and there, but he kind of enjoys the conversation. Michael Douglas talks about how originally in its concept, his father was going to play McMurphy, and he at one point was possibly going to play Brad Dourif's character, but then they brought in Brad, and he saw Brad Dourif, and he's like, we got to use that guy, not me. So, but Douglas remained producer on the film, and I think he kind of maybe was like, I don't want to have my plate too full on this, but they talk about that. Then carried over from the Ultimate Edition Blu-ray release that came out, they have Completely Cuckoo, which is an hour, 26 minutes, and 17 seconds. So, and you have people that aren't on the new conversations here. It's a whole wheelhouse of people from the movie talking, the big old retrospective documentary on it. So that's cool to have back. And then of course we retain the 9 minutes and 25 seconds of deleted scenes. So that is a lot. It's quality. Like it's a conflicting thing here, because in terms of bonus features, you still have quality. You still have new, but I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. We're missing some vintage featurettes and a commentary. Not available. People who are fans of this movie might want to have. They might not have wanted to hold on to previous releases and just replace. Unfortunately, we don't have everything here. I will say, I think this, for someone who's never owned Cuckoo and wouldn't know, this is more than enough. Quite good. I did look at my digital code redemption on both Fandango at home and Movies Anywhere, and no bonus features were available. I don't know if on release day Tuesday those are going to get added to it, but at this time, those digital codes do not have bonus features. So I give the bonus features a 3 out of 5. Let's go back through, tally up the score here. The film is a 5 out of 5. The video is a 5 out of 5. The audio, 4 out of 5. Bonus material, 3 out of 5, which I kind of make up for here by bumping up the overall score to a 4 out of 5, because I still think this is a pretty awesome release, and especially if you've never owned Cuckoo's Nest before and you don't know what was there before, you may be missing that making of, but you have the hour and a half retrospective doc, which I think more than makes up for that. What you aren't getting back is that commentary, which I think is a big loss, but it is what it is. I still think quality-wise, this is a 4 out of 5 based on the movie, the presentation, and having quality extras. Pick this one up. This is one to have in every collection. Definitely. Maybe when the price is right for you, but I would pick it up day one. This is a classic. Got to have that. I love that Warner is focusing on that. In December, I believe they're putting out Boogie Nights. This is just slowly but surely putting out classics, which they have been making a habit of in the past 2 years or so. And I can't thank them enough. But One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is November's classic title they're putting out. Pick it up. Appreciate you watching this review, as always. And remember, stay film positive.